Alright, so you read the title, you know what we're looking at. We're looking at Klein multi-bit drivers and the Mega Pro. So unless you've been living in a hole your whole life, you've seen one of these before. It's a Klein 11 multi-bit screwdriver. It's a standard. I'm just going to count through the 11 different bits we got here. I'm not going to list them off, but there's 2 there. Sorry for bumping the camera so much. Two there. This piece here, that 1/4 inch hex, that counts as, so now we're at 5. That right there is 6. Pop this out. 7, 8, 9, 10 on Torx. That's the same size right there, but this size here is different. So that's where you get 11 from. And then that's just the handle. Electronic screwdriver, same bit. The whole shaft comes out. Each of these reverses into these smaller, fancy little bits. There's only 4. It's really just the same concept, but an electronic screwdriver. Really like this. That's a very nice feature. I didn't pop it in there, that's my fault. Didn't hit the detent. There we go. Last but not least, the Stubby is basically, it's very self-explanatory. Although it's 5, so it's a little bit special. So this, in the centerpiece here, all the bits are contained in here. This side is a standard 1/4 inch hex, and this here, you can actually take the bits from that multi-bit. So if you wanted a Robertson, you could actually put it in your Stubby if you had one of these, or one of the Torx. But this side, it's the size up, so that'll be 1/16 bigger. Nut driver in there. That's a big girth here, you can kind of see it, which can be very convenient or inconvenient. And last but not least, not part of the Klein series, but as comparison, it's the Mega Pro. This is their biggest competitor in my opinion. Everything's down here, everything is detent. Yeah. Alright, now for a little bit of story time about these screwdrivers. I was rocking a Mega Pro like this for about a year, maybe like 11 months on the job. And finally I broke 2 bits, and by the time that rolled around, this never did that. It would come all the way out. So it was quite a used tool. And then I've had this for about a month after I broke it. I don't like this very much because these little bits, they're $7 Canadian where I am to replace at the wholesaler, and you can't order them from Klein because Canada. That's an example. US, maybe different story. But this is like 25 bucks, and like this is like 25 bucks. Depends what you're really doing it for. Any type of commercial where, I guess you could call it, I'm pretty hard on my tools. One of these, I've been able to put a flathead in this and hammer the shit out of one of these and still have it survive reasonably well. The first time I did this with this, well, guess what? Can't get it out anymore. Because this is stuck into here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this in here, but right along the ridges where those 2 slots line up, you can see how I pushed it too far back in from a little bit of hammering. So I just, linesman's ripped it back out, looked in, I'm like, oh shit, this tool's pretty weak sauce. That's an aluminum housing right there. Not steel or anything. So when that goes in, if I go like this, just so I don't set my workbench, a little bit of tap, can't get it out again. It's jammed back in there, which kind of really sucks if you're on the job and you're in a tight place, or it's just not a very sturdy tool in that aspect. On the other hand, the other Klein tools, like this electronic screwdriver, it's the non-insulated. I don't believe they have a multi-bit that is insulated, but it's great for terminating on de-energized equipment. Small stuff is great. The Stubby, I've had this for the same length of time, but of course you don't use it as much. It's sat pretty much in the bag for the couple days I've had it in my bag. And I've used a couple other guys, it's pretty great for being a Stubby. So in my book, I'm second year electrical apprentice now, and I've had enough time on the tools to know what I like at least. And in my opinion, go with a Mega Pro. You can get multiple, and you can get them in different colors, handles, so you can keep a bit in the one that you want. So when you can keep Robertsons, when you can keep flathead, but yet if you leave your tool bag behind, you still have the whole selection, which is another pro for the Mega Pro, is you can see the whole selection there. Where with the Klein, you get less of a selection, and you're like, ooh, is it there, is it there, is it there? Ooh, I can't even get it by hand. But the other thing is, with the Mega Pro, using this as a nut driver doesn't work that well. After a couple months of doing that every once in a while on some fixtures, it rounded out right at the tip. So it's not a very good nut driver, although you can use it every once in a while. On the other hand, this Klein, it's meant to be that there. They're meant to be a tooling surface. And they're beautiful for this. Like, I think I'm gonna keep this in my bag, even if I throw out all the bits. So it's a 3-point nut driver. 3 points. And that is really handy, that aspect of it, because you're never really hammering, never really chiseling with a nut driver. And yes, I know Klein does make a version of this that is just nut drivers. I think it's 7 or 8 different nut drivers in one, I believe, and it's like $40 on Amazon. I don't know the prices where you're at, so I might explore that in the future. Also, I don't know this firsthand, but the heavy-duty version of this screwdriver, supposedly it doesn't fare very much better than this for through shaft hammering, which is not what it's meant for, but I didn't do very much to this for that to happen. My fault, but I just hoped it would be much more like this, which this feels like such a cheaper product in the hand. It kind of is in a way, but I like it better than this. Although, depending on your style, this you can reach in a lot more. This one you can't. The way it might sit in your pocket, if you're a pocket guy, who knows? Maybe this doesn't fit that well in your tool bag. The other thing, that note, when you put one of these bits in from Mega Pro, you put it in. Although that's a number 0 fill or excuse me there. Like, say for example, number 2 Robbie, you put it in nice and firm. You turn your screw in, you pull it out, pull that bit out, because this is brand new. It's a brand new screw. You often can get this stuck in there, and that'll happen to all these screwdrivers. The thing about the Mega Pro is you start to pull out, and you only get to about there, and you notice it's coming out, and you grab it with your hand and tuck it back in. On the other hand, one of these, just boop, that's just because I don't ever use the Torx. Go over to the Robbie side. Robbie pops right out like that. Much easier than that, and they're approximately the same use. This little guy is so freaking easy to lose. I already lost one, as I probably have said already. And luckily someone had the exact replacement bit for me, and they're like, hey man, have a good day. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, I was actually not very happy with myself when I lost it. No one likes to lose tools. You break them, you can swear at them. You only can swear at yourself when you lose something. So that's my take on these screwdrivers. I'm not really in the tool testing business because, well, it costs money. These are tools I plan on using. Plus, how much can you test one of these screwdrivers? It's just, this is my account on them. And I hope you've enjoyed the little bit of B-roll that has gone along with this. Now, you guys have a good day.